Good morning, good morning, good morning. We bless the Lord on this morning, amen. It is a fabulous day in the Lord, and we are rejoicing and we are glad in it on this morning. Amen. Thank you, Lord. It is a fabulous Monday, a magnificent Monday, and I'm definitely glad to be here on this morning. We thank each and every one of you that are popping into the room across the Swag Her magazine community, as well as the Laquita's Toolbox community. Thank you so much for those of you that are joining us across Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We appreciate you for coming in the room on this morning. It is 9:03 a.m. And I just want to take a moment right quick to thank Swagger Magazine Fancy and all of her staff there at Swagger for this opportunity to join you guys in the Swagger Magazine community each and every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as well as each and every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. It is definitely a blessing and a privilege to be able to speak to you. And those of you that are followers of the Laquita's Toolbox community, thank you so much for showing up each and every Wednesday. I appreciate your support. It is definitely an encouragement to me. And this morning, good morning from Dallas, Texas. Thank you so much for jumping in the room all the way from Dallas. Thank you so much, Hector Johnson, for coming into the room on this morning. As you guys come into the room, please get in the comment section and let me know who you are and where you're from. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Set those notification buttons, hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons so that you can be notified each and every Monday morning and Wednesday morning when I pop on live here in the Swagger Magazine community, as well as in the Laquita's Toolbox community. Thank you so much, Corey, for joining all the way from New York. We appreciate you. And this morning's topic, we're talking about intentionality. Good morning, Maurice. It is so good to see you. Thank you so much, Muriel. It is so good to see you from all the way from Tallahassee. Appreciate you for taking the time for joining this morning. Good morning, Paula, all the way from Virginia. We appreciate you for jumping in the room on this morning. Thank you so much, and we appreciate your support. Let's see. Conchita, thank you so much for coming in from Merritt Island, Florida. If I'm pronouncing your name right, Conchita, please let me know. If I'm not, phonetically spell it in the comments. I don't want to mess up anyone's name this morning. This morning, I won't be with you very long. I just want to talk a little bit about the power of intentionality and why personal growth and intentionality go hand in hand. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Personal growth is not an accident. I know sometimes we believe that as we get older, that's a belief system that is unfortunately gone through many communities, that as we get older, just like with a kid, when you have a baby and the baby goes from infancy to toddler, to pre-adolescence, adolescence, so on and so forth, into adulthood, that our bodies naturally grow, that our mental, spiritual, emotional growth happens just naturally like that as well. And that is just not the truth. Good morning, all the way. Good morning, Miss Cynthia Fluker. Thank you so much for coming into the room on this morning. Personal growth has to be intentional. And in my post this morning, I wrote a quote from John Maxwell, and I'll paraphrase that quote. If you want to know the details of that quote, go back to the post that I made on this morning. But one thing that John Maxwell said that really hits home for me is that we oftentimes, as we're looking at growing, especially on a professional level in our careers as entrepreneurs, we understand the power of goal setting. Goal setting is phenomenal, and we must do it. It's an action step that we have to take. It's one of the action steps required in our pursuit of whatever we determine success to be. But goal setting alone is not the key. Personal growth is our key to success. It goes hand in hand with what I always say, that everything in our life hinges on our identity. And a part of that requires us to grow personally. And in that quote, and again, I'll paraphrase it from John Maxwell, when we make goals and we set goals, sometimes we hit those goals. Sometimes we hit those goals. But when we become intentional about our personal growth, we will always hit the mark. We will always hit the goal. And why is that? Because that personal growth that requires intentionality, it requires us to dig deep within ourselves and do the work that is necessary to become the best versions of ourselves. And in becoming the best versions of ourselves, those goals that we've set for ourselves personally as well as professionally, we will hit those goals every time. Every time. Personal growth is an important key to success. Thank you so much for joining Andrea from our LinkedIn community. Andrea says that she is excited to start the day with us with this topic. Thank you. We are happy to have you here. Personal growth is up to you. Every experience is an opportunity to learn. You get the choice to make it into the lessons that you need most to grow. Absolutely. Our personal growth is our choice. We can choose to grow or we can choose not to grow. And when we choose not to grow, that hinders us personally and professionally. Bettina Spears, thank you so much for joining us all the way from Louisiana. Thank you so much, Facebook user. We appreciate your support on this morning. Personal growth takes intentions. It just does not happen by accident. Accidental growth sometimes happen, when you keep living and you keep learning. That's a saying. We keep living and we keep learning. But are we really learning as we're living? Are we just experiencing life? Are we just going through life? Or are we being intentional about everything that we seek out? Even in our failures, especially in our failures, are we looking for the growth opportunities, especially in our failures? Because in every failure, in every trial, there is a growth opportunity. There is an opportunity to learn something and take that lesson and use it as an ingredient or a tool, if you will, in our pursuit of success and our pursuit of personal growth. Failure is definitely a tool. It is a learning tool that we use, and it can become an important tool in our personal growth journey. Many of you know that I am a certified John Maxwell leadership team speaker and coach. And personal growth is the foundational tool of what we learn as we're going through that process to become Maxwell leadership certified. And we understand that accidental growth and intentional growth are two totally different things. Accidental growth says that I can plan to start tomorrow. We have a goal, we have an idea, it's in our head, and we work out whatever the reason we work out that it's not the right time to start now. So like we're in the end of the fourth quarter of this year, right? And we should already be working on our personal action plans. We should already be working out our strategies or have completed our strategies for what we want our 2023 to look like professionally and personally. And a lot of us will say, okay, well, let's, January 1, I'm going to start doing A, B, C, D on January 1. And that's how we're going to take it throughout the rest of the year. Accidental growth says, I plan to start tomorrow. What are we doing right now today that sets us up for our personal growth success or our professional growth success for 2023? What action steps are we taking right now today that will benefit us in our tomorrow? That's intentional growth. That's intentional growth. Intentional growth insists on starting today. Today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. Intentional growth starts today. Accidental growth waits until tomorrow. Accidental growth waits until it's a perfect time. It's all things are lining up perfectly. This is the right atmosphere. Whatever your reason may be, intentional growth starts today. Accidental growth waits for growth to come. You're waiting on that perfect moment. You're waiting on the perfect people to land into your network. You're waiting on the perfect way to set up that social media post. You're waiting on the perfect way to design something in Canva, or you're waiting on that perfect graphic designer to come onto your team. You're waiting on that perfect social media manager. I've got all of these ideas in my head and I want to do them, but I can't do them because I don't want to just put any old thing out into the atmosphere concerning my business and my brand. So I've got to wait till all things are perfect in alignment. I got to wait till those financial resources get just the right way before I can go in and do this thing that I want to do. That is accidental growth. Hello, Rafiki. Thank you for joining us. Personal growth is intentional, and it requires us to act right now. Absolutely, Adina. Thank you so much for joining us from our LinkedIn community, Adina. The perfect time is right now, not tomorrow, but right now. We grow into the better versions of ourselves, but we have to start right now. Your right now season starts today. Learning only from our mistakes. Accidental growth means, you ever met that person where you're trying to give them some wisdom and they're just determined to learn from the school of hard knocks? They just won't listen to anybody and anyone because they're determined to do things on their own. I want to do this myself. They have that 2-year-old syndrome. Mine. I want to do it myself. My 2-year-old granddaughter, when she's trying to get dressed sometimes, and she'll tell me, no, Granny, I do it myself, which is good. There's some things that we have to learn to do on our own. But there are some things where we can actually take the lessons of others, apply those principles, and not have to grow through the situation that they grew through. And I say grow through because we don't want to just go through anything. Whatever we're experiencing in life, we want to grow through it. We want to be gleaning and learning from it. That's intentional growth. That's intentional personal growth. Thank you so much, Andrea, for this great comment. Progress over perfection. That right there is a mic drop, ladies and gentlemen. Progress over perfection. Thank you so much for sharing that in with us this morning on Andrea. I could not agree with you more. Progress over perfection. We have a question here from from our Facebook community, from Jacqueline. Jacqueline says, how do you decide or figure out what steps to take and need to be taken? That is an amazing question, Jacqueline. That is an amazing question. And that the answer to that question is that's a part of your personal growth plan. When we take the time to sit and intentionally outline, if you will, what we want success to look like. So my question to you is, what does success look like to you? What are those goals? What are those things that you want to accomplish? And then what are the steps that in your heart you need to take to get there? In mapping out those steps or putting together that outline or coming together with another individual to help you create that personal growth plan or that personal action plan, what we're able to do then is to put things in highest priority and learn to bite that elephant one bite at a time. We want to see the big picture, and then we want to take that big picture and break it into smaller, more manageable, bite-sized pieces. What are the things that I can do today that will have a great impact on my goal for the end of the week? What are the things that I'm doing throughout the week that will have a great impact on my monthly goals for hit my quarterly goals, so on and so forth. But it starts with, what is it that you want to do? What is your target, if you will? What is your target? What is that big target? And now how can we take that big target and break it down into smaller action steps and putting a priority on what action steps I need to take in area A, area B, area C, area D, if that makes sense to you. And I hope that it did. If that somewhat answered your question, let me know. And if I left you out there in muddy water, let me know that too. And I'll see if I can do better with breaking that down. But thank you so much, Jacqueline, for asking that question. A great question. We're talking about this morning intentionality. Personal growth, being intentional, and that personal growth is the key to our success, not just personally, but professionally as well. When we are seeking to improve ourselves personally, that improvement spills over into our professional growth. As we're improving and becoming the better version of who we want to be, the person that we want to show up, as we're becoming that individual that we most want to do business with, that spills over into our professional growth. And that professional growth, let's see, Jacqueline, you have a question there. It says, no, she says, I need to figure out what I want to be to grow up myself. You've got a part of the answer right there, sis. You've got a part of the answer right there. Do you know what it is that you want in your personal growth journey? What started me, just as a little backstory for myself, what started me on this journey was I had a triggering moment at age 25 where I realized I had no idea who I was and what I wanted to be when I grew up. And at age 25, I had been married for a number of years. I had 5 children, a dog, and we were trying to buy our first house. But in that triggering moment that happened to me, I realized that, Laquita, you have no idea who you are. You don't know what you want to be when you grow up, and you're just flapping in the wind, girl. You need to figure this out. That started my journey. So if you're finding yourself in a place like Jacqueline, where you says, and that's a place of transition, and being in a place of transition is a powerful place. Being in a place of transition, I can make a decision right then and there. What do I want to be? And let me figure this out. Let me figure out who I am. What's my purpose in the earth? Who are the people that I'm called to reach? What is the thing that I am called to do? That is an absolute amazing place. So as you are going through that journey of figuring out for yourself, who is it that Jacqueline is, you will have a lot of personal growth experience. And that entire journey will be a personal growth experience for you. And Jacqueline, if you're not a part of the Laquita's Toolbox community, I do encourage you to join the Laquita's Toolbox community. One of the things we talk about a lot is the power of our identity and knowing who we are and how everything in our life hinges on our identity. The things that we do personally and professionally, our identity and the core values of who we are the foundation to whatever we have determined success to be. So I wish you well in that journey, Jacqueline. If there's anything that I can do to assist you in that journey, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on any of my social media platforms, and I'd love to connect with you as you pursue that journey. Again, and we're going back to talking about our personal growth being intentional. Our personal growth must be intentional. When we're learning from our mistakes, and we're refusing to learn from others or allow others into that journey with us, that's an accidental growth. But when we're growing intentionally, oftentimes we learn before we make the mistakes. A part of personal growth for me, and that I encourage my clients, is that circle that you surround yourself with. Who is in your circle? Those of you that have been following me for some time, know that I'm really big on our relationships being our greatest resource. Those relationships that are closest to you, those individuals that can pour into your life and speak into your life, their ability to speak wisdom to you, and you receive it as a tool, and you take those tools that they give you and begin to implement them into your life as a part of your personal growth plan, as a part of your professional growth plan. You can take the mistakes or the wisdom of others and begin to implement it into your life so that we don't continue to make those same mistakes. We grow from the things that we've learned by the people who are in our circle. And if you're saying, Laquita, I don't have anybody like that in my circle, that's okay. That is okay, because we live in an information age and we have access to thought leaders and subject matter experts via podcasts, books that we read, conferences that we can attend. And as we're learning and growing from those individuals that maybe, we can't meet them on a day-to-day, face-to-face basis, but we have that ability to learn from them through the wisdom that they share through tools such as those blogs that they've written, articles that they've written, podcasts that they host or have been guests on, social media posts that they make, lives that they do. We have access to so many things in this day and age that in times past we didn't have access to. So if you're saying, Laquita, I don't have anybody in my immediate circle that can feed me like that, no worries. There is the power of the internet. You have that ability to connect and grow. And if you're saying, well, how do I even start? Who do I even know to connect with? Stay connected with me. And one of the things that I'm going to be releasing soon are the top 10, my top 10 favorite authors that I follow, as well as my top 10 podcasts that I follow. And these are individuals that have the wisdom that they've shared have been a blessing into my life and that have helped me grow both personally and professionally. So personal growth is intentional. And the more that we grow personally, that pours over into our professional life and it leaves a profound impact. Good morning, Deanna. How are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome on this morning. Thank you so much, Fancy, for popping in the room. Yes, we have to be intentional. And when we're being intentional, that means we have to pursue after the things that we know we want. When we have a goal in mind, what are we willing to give? What are we willing to do? What are we willing to sacrifice in order to reach that goal? And if you're saying, Laquita, I don't have anyone in my circle, in my immediate circle, that can do for me what you're talking about, then it is up to you to find that individual. It is up to you to find those individuals, and it is up to you to place them in your life. And if you're saying, Laquita, there's some people in my life that they're not doing that for me. As a matter of fact, I think it's a little toxic. It is up to you to appropriately place those people in spaces in your life where they won't be able to give you that toxicity on a regular basis or at all. Our personal growth is our personal responsibility. It is not the responsibility of anyone else, but it is up to us as individuals to begin to pursue our purpose with a passion. And how do we do that? By intentionally pursuing after personal growth, creating a personal growth plan, and waking up every day with the I can do it attitude that today I will accomplish A, B, C, and D. Today, this is what I am doing to grow personally and professionally. Thank you so much, Andrea. Yes, it will be something like my holiday edition because there are people who are pouring into my life on a consistent basis that are actually in my inner circle, as well as thought leaders that I follow. And so I just want to be able to share that with those that are in my Laquita's Toolbox community as well. Fancy says the part was for her about the personal growth is our responsibility. Absolutely. Our growth is our responsibility. Our growth is our responsibility. When we're in high school and when in middle school, when you're in school, your elementary school teacher always tells us, you got to go, the lessons that we got to learn to be prepared for the next grade. Especially when we're in high school, our teachers tell us these are the things that we have to know to be prepared for college, because in college and university, your professors are not going to hold your hand. In life, unfortunately, even those who want to hold you up and support you, they cannot do the work for you. It is your personal responsibility to do the work. Great point, Fancy. Great, great point. Jessica Hilliard, thank you so much for popping in the room for my Facebook community. I appreciate you. I'm so glad to hear that you are loving this message on this morning and that you're receiving something from this message. Listen, guys, those of you that are here tuning in on the live and that will watch on the replay, hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons. Let's get this message out to as many people as we can. And let's share this message within our own individual communities. We appreciate that so much. Let's hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons and get this message out. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to join me on the live this morning. And please hit those notification bells. If you have not subscribed to Laquita's Toolbox YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell on your favorite social media platform so that you will be notified when I pop on live every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time and every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And again, thank you guys again so much. Those of you that have been popping into the comments, thank you so much for the value that you added to the conversation on this morning. I will be back on Wednesday morning with another and continuing this conversation on personal growth because personal growth is necessary. It is the key to our success as we continue to build and develop and grow ourselves personally. That growth spills over into our professional life. So let's stay tuned for Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here in the Swag Her Magazine community, as well as in the Laquita Toolbox community. I will be back. Guys, thank you so much for your time on this morning. Be blessed and have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.